Benjamin Coffey, and I'm the area director for No Limits Fitness, and currently personal trainer. Well, I'm degreed in exercise physiology, formerly certified from the American College of Sports Medicine and from ACE. Originally from here in Eastern Kentucky, born and raised in Louisa.
And what's some of your history with bodybuilding?
My history with bodybuilding, man, I started 30 days to the day before I graduated high school. I was apprenticed by a gentleman named Larry Dean Preston. God rest his soul. He's no longer with us, and he was a highway patrolman here for the Kentucky State Police. Wonderful man. He, he broke me in and, just taught me the way and helped me build my self-confidence up. And he really changed my life. He sure did. The reason, why I got started in the first place was because I was just a classic. I don't want to say that I was bullied. Maybe I was picked on a little bit. I can remember Mrs. Cash's English class. Boy, I was the butt of every single joke, in that class, and that was hard. Those things they stick with you, and that's why I really wanted to start bodybuilding and change my life, because I didn't want to get picked on anymore. I didn't want to be the butt of the jokes anymore. And after I got educated and I learned the ways, I started using performance enhancers, into my competitive career. So when I moved away, I ended up becoming the regional director for Gold's Gyms of the Carolinas, and then I was into all kinds of stuff. And I never wanted to come off the performance enhancers, because I was also, I had a career in professional wrestling as well. And I just didn't want to stop. I felt like the man, I felt like Superman all the time. And, I was running with the devil, man. I was running hard. And in the end, I ended up, getting on the phone with Gary Fletcher up here in Kentucky, and I was talking to him from the Carolinas, and he was telling me that he would like to have some help as far as growing the company and whatnot. And he and we get along famously. Gary Fletcher has treated me like a king ever since I've been here. The other owners have been very, very well, treated me very well. And it's just been like a big family, ever since I've been here. And they welcome me with open arms, and I feel really, really good about the impact that I had made, while I was the area director. Now we get to the point of where I started getting sick. Last year I started, I couldn't breathe very well. Had no idea what was going on. I thought, that maybe I had symptoms of bronchitis or pneumonia. And the day before I was planning on going back to work, because I had to take a couple of days off because I couldn't breathe, I was visiting my mother while she was here, and I went to the bathroom and then I passed out. So I went straight back on the floor, and my head hit the concrete so hard, that's what woke me up. And I'm thinking, man, what am I doing down here on the floor? So I ended up going to Paul B. Hall, which is fortunately for me right across the street. And my oxygen level was, if I remember correctly, it was 68 when I got there. And fortunately, I had a lot of members back there that were on staff at the hospital, and everybody had already knew me. And I felt very fortunate to have people around me, that knew me, that were taking care of me, making sure that I was comfortable, because I had no idea what was going on. Then that led to the diagnosis of the blood clots. Long story short, I ended up having 5 blood clots in my right lung. And the reason why I got those blood clots is because I didn't realize at the time that when you stop taking performance enhancers altogether, it thickens up your blood. So as educated as I am, I did not know that. And I ended up learning the hard way. So I ended up getting transferred from Paul B. Hall to Pikeville Hospital. And fortunately for me, one of the members here, Miss Priscilla, was one of the charge nurses up at Pikeville Hospital. They took really, really good care of me. Unfortunately for me, I've got a really, really hard head, man. And they kept me in that bed. They wouldn't let me move. And on the 3rd day, I wanted out of that bed. I was going to get in the bathroom. I needed to use the bathroom, man. And I needed to wash my hands and my face. And I just, I felt gross. So I wanted to take care of myself. So as soon as I get in the bathroom, my arm dies. And it was nothing that I'd ever felt before. I've been in wrestling matches all over the country, and I've been really banged up in the past. But when my arm died, I'm just thinking, I'm like, man, what in the world have I done to myself? Have I slept on it wrong, or what have I done? Well, when I grabbed my arm, it just felt like I don't know if you've ever grabbed a dead body or not. Not like I have, not intentionally anyway. So, when I grabbed my arm, it was just dead. There was no feeling there at all, and I was like, holy crap, what have I done? So I was starting to get a little bit nervous, but I wasn't freaking out, because I'm like, well, it'll come back in a minute. Well, when the nurses started knocking on the door, they were saying, Mr. Coffey, are you okay? Are you okay? And then I couldn't respond. And that's when I knew that I was in trouble, because I couldn't speak. And I was like, oh man, I have had a stroke. And that's what happened. So the next thing I know, there's about 12 nurses in the hospital room just running around all over the place. It was like a bunch of clowns getting out of the little car, and they all start running around, what I'm talking about. So anyway, that was funny. And the next thing I know, I'm on a University of Kentucky hospital, and they it was really funny, because before we left Pikeville, I'm kind of a big dude, so they were trying to fit me in the chopper. Well, it was really funny, despite my circumstances. One of the guys knew me from my wrestling career. I have no idea how or who he was, but at any rate, they finally got me into the chopper, and I could remember my feet being up on the windshield, and the guy outside, I'm trying to hold my arm up because I can't feel anything, and I can't talk to him, but I'm laughing my butt off because he's trying to close the door on me, and I'm sticking halfway out of this helicopter. So anyway, that was entertaining. So next thing I know, we get to University of Kentucky Hospital, and I can't tell you, first of all, the food there was great. I didn't want to leave. And they took such good care of me, just treated me like an absolute king. And, unfortunately for me, I had to stay there for a month and a half. But, I'm very, very lucky to have lived through, I feel like I've got a second chance. And, a lot of the times I'm going to try not to cry, but, I'm sure you've heard the story of Chris Candido from 2002. He had one of the ECW originals. He had a blood clot that went straight to his heart, killed him instantly. And I had one of my blood clots ended up going through my heart and straight to my brain, which caused the damage. So that leads me to believe that, you know, that's God's way of, you know, giving me another opportunity to still be here and to be able to, you know, pass along my gifts and my talents to other people who, you know, I after my incident and when I tried to come back to work, which was silly because I got mad and I left rehab really early because I've got a hard head. But I was so worried about the business and I didn't want to leave Gary hanging, so I came back to work way too early. I couldn't speak very well at all, but I tried. I gave myself an A for effort, but you know, 2-3 months down the road, I just had to face it that I couldn't perform the way that I was. I'm just not, you know, my multitasking skills have been hit pretty hard, and you know, I really shouldn't have left that rehab. I really should have stayed. But you know, my words and my letters and my numbers, they get jumbled up. So I couldn't do the man justice. So I had to step down from my position, and he said, well, you know, why don't you hang around and do some personal training, see how you do. And I've been doing that for the last 8 to 10 months, and have been really blessed with some solid clientele, and you know, every single one of my clients have gotten results. So I was so proud of that. And you know, here we are. So the moral of that story for anybody who's younger and listening is, you know, just do your best not to run with the devil, man, and stay away from performance enhancers, because if you're not smart, you know, they will kill you. There's a right way to do them and there's a wrong way to do them, and I've done them the wrong way for 24 years straight. So I'm going to leave them with that.